Hello, my name is Willem Church, and this is a supplementary video providing a brief summary of actor network theory, which I will be critically evaluating for my main presentation on the ontology of extractive industries. There are many varieties of actor network theory, but here I will focus on my own understanding of Latour's account of actor network theory, predominantly in how he presents it in his book, Reassembling the Social. In Reassembling the Social, Latour centers actor network theory's approach to understanding social entities as being enactments of heterogeneous assemblages of human and non-human entities. His is a processual, practice-based theory of ontology with a focus on action as well as objects. There are two key planks to this vision. First, his contention that so-called social aggregates are the result of repeated performative acts, and the second, that non-human objects are agents insofar as they change states of affairs. In the chapter indicatively titled No Work Group, Only Group Formation, under No Work, No Group, Latour explains, social aggregates are not the object of an ostensive definition, like mugs and cats and chairs that can be pointed at by the index finger, but only of performative definition. They are made by the various ways and manners in which they are said to exist. Latour threads his vision of somewhat Austinian productive performative acts into his account of how social aggregates both come to exist and ostensibly seem to take action. You have to have spokespersons which speak for the group's existence. They are constantly at work, measuring, justifying the group's existence, invoking rules and precedents, and, as we shall see, measuring up one definition against all the others. Groups are not silent things, but rather the provisional product of a constant uproar made by millions of contradictory voices about what the group is and who pertains to what. The result is a model of many social entities of everyday life being the result of networks of actors, some traditionally considered to be constituting the entity in question, but also those referring to it, engaging in performative acts, broadly understood, that make the aggregate count as such, or act in a certain fashion. Latour also sees constant performative action as delimiting the categories by which different social entities come to be. Here, for example, he emphasizes how group members, as well as others talking about groups, constantly invoke rules and precedents. To this extent, Latour does imply different social entities require different kinds of performative acts, as the quotes here indicate. However, at least in my reading of him, he provides little explicit claim about how this works, merely encouraging analysts to try and figure out how such inertia is created. Latour supplements his vision of constant performative action with a picture of non-human agency. One of Latour's most famous and notorious claims is that objects have agency, insofar as objects have the possibility to modify a state of affairs. He states, if action is limited to what intentional, meaningful humans do, it is hard to see how a hammer, a basket, or a tag could act. By contrast, if we stick to our decision from the start, to start from the controversies about actors and agencies, then anything that does modify a state of affairs by making a difference is an actor. Latour's well-known example here is that of a speed bump. A speed bump, as Latour points out, makes drivers slow down due to their anticipation of the bump, therefore being what he describes as an actor, since it makes the difference to how a human actor acts. Now, with this total account, Latour's explanatory ambitions are extremely broad, and his examples of what he calls social aggregates are strikingly far-reaching. They include the French, corporations, classes, ethnic groups, and Macintosh users. Whatever the variety of such entities, he depicts the process by which such aggregates come to be, or be seen to act, as being broadly qualitatively similar. All these social entities are, to him, enactments of the assemblages of human and non-human actors that continually and contingently inhabit the social world. In this account, it is the parts that claim to be members of a given entity, like employees of a mining company, or those that nominally address, but in fact constantly play a part in creating that entity, like an anthropologist asking, what is the mind doing now, that do the performative work of talking such organizations into being, as well as the various objects that restrain or enable human action, mining equipment, gold deposits, that all collectively make the corporation, for example, be as it is. It is the validity of this model of the social world that I will consider in my main talk by considering it in dialogue with my own case studies studying extractive industries in Papua New Guinea.